What a monstrous regiment.
Council of the labourers that harried in the House of Lords and Liars stole all of the credit, and the blame was sacked and set the banks on fire. Miami smashed by day, to Greece the only way. The king could pay his dues to Rome for aid, like Alexander the Great in a man-united state. Kentucky frying bait, stealing Zeus's thunder while he ate. I turned another page in the story of my rage. The sun beamed down from heaven in a cage and struck him from afar, a heavy metal morning star jamming in the poor-red devil's bar, but 12 green bottles sitting on the Hague. So they flew in from the east, red arrows burning their deceased, throwing China from the table, blacking out the sky with cable, cutting off the oil slick with a right-wing party trick, lighting up the general's bank where the colonel's poultry drank, tapping out my coded Morse from an ancient Trojan horse with the Mary Queen of France who was hacking at the branch. The sound of music blaring out in Scotland Yard, where the sisters dressed in black opened up a vat of sour wine for the rangers that were sweeping round the back. The laughter on the track, where the monkeys sprung their trap, drinking in a secret hidden lair, an oasis in the sand for the captain's marching band, toasting in the middle of nowhere, printing out the words for the high-flying birds, as General Dread sits in the dirty air. So they charged us for the peace, posted in the Middle East, with the mail on Sunday people, that's the Sahara Desert Eagle, firing all the crooked shots in the postman's letterbox at the CO who I racked and whose regiment I jacked, for the boys that made the news who forgot to pay their dues, and the girls that crushed the ants with a dozen first-class stamps. Breath of fresh air servicemen that washed out of the cold bent copper pipes blew away the plainclothes lines that ambushed us for a hot tap water fight. The gunners live on 5, but the frogmen told to dive, swimming for their channel-hopping lives, gassed the Irish rover and ran poor England over. From Calais to hit Beaver just in time to stop them nuking Wales when One Direction fails. A rocket in the charts at number 10. The Smiths came out to play for a Cardiff City day. The escapades of 40 billion yen. The Arsenal hit the key from the ministers for me. 20,000 Premier Leagues under the sea. So we dug into the land, building castles out of sand, spending all the pharaoh's gold on the tower blocks they sold to the church for the stonemasons through a crack in the foundations where the captain hit the wall with a Spanish cannonball, firing all the royal pains at the Laughing Stock Exchange where the private company boarders rolled up their marching orders and smoked the rising tide that stormed up the beach toward us. The scars of brown-bread soldiers that were toasted by the spoiled, rotten egg whites came running through the looking glass with their oyster forks and fake Swiss Army knives. The walrus with the spyglass on his beady eye, praying for the camera lens to dry, took them by surprise, the cowboys in disguise. While they waited for the morning sun to rise, the spectacles they wound as they marched around the town, picturing the fools that came to cut me down, that had hung the Bill of Rights on the British crown of lights. For the judge that turned our singing voices down, but the carpenter came out with things to shout about. The breath of God that drowned out all the sound, a sermon on the mount that banked on John's account, being ripped off by the man without a doubt, who came to catch your eye with the checkbook of Eli, losing pounds and pounds cause they worked out on the sly. So we drew our singing swords on the local shopping hordes who came from out of town to erase our gold record for the scheming little shits with their systems on the fritz, who paid the major labels to hack us all to bits. But the British Navy sealed the white stripes upon our shields and cut the life preservers of the Roman Secret Service, 10,000 plainclothes officers and human rights observers for the protesting unbelievers. A convention of Geneva spending Belgian chocolate money on Moroccan red meat cleavers that cut through the pigs like silk with their Scottish dairy milk, while the breakfast subcommittee had a riot in the city to Gibraltar, and I guessed right on the rock for Tricky Dicky. But the old men at the back, with their faces painted black, tried to wrestle our attack and stab us in the back. But the pirates saved the day, cause the fools forgot to pay back a soldier of fortune that was borrowed by the way.
Throw the book at them, Sarge.